Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. We're taking a quick look at Radix, and just before we do, we usually look at Bitcoin, but I can kind of summarize it really quick and easy for you. We're pretty much right at 67,000, and we have been for a little while, just consolidating right above that support level at 67. We do have 66 and 65 as a secondary support channel, but we should be all set at 67 with maybe a bounce to the upside in the near future based on that being a nice consolidation area. Also note, I'm not a financial advisor. This is always for educational purposes only. You should make sure to do your own research. And of course, if you want a leg up, perhaps a community that actually thinks and breathes, eats and sleeps the same thing as you do with crypto, go ahead and join my trading community. It's a really awesome situation where I send out signals for every single trade that I take, and we all just learn and grow together. It's very collaborative. It's growing quick. There's only going to be 200 members. I'm going to have to cap it out soon, so check that out in your own time. And also, rates are going to be increasing next month too. Feel free to lock it in. Take a look here at the one-day chart. Wow. I'm glad I got asked. I think one of my community members requested that I cover this, of course. And we can see what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of slow start. Then 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 9. Huge. So 9 total, right? So TD sequential basically telling us right now that we have exhaustion in this case, right? So we shouldn't expect too much more progress to the upside just based on the fact that we've had 9, now 10, 11 bullish days overall in the past couple of weeks, right? So, again, that's just something to kind of note. It doesn't mean it's not going to continue to go up. Of course, it just means that we should expect some consolidation very, very soon, if not a retracement, right? It might have already retraced, but we're going to want to expect something. All right, so let's go ahead and look with the standard indicators first. There's not much to really note there with the moving averages. The RSI came down, bounced off of 70. That's a pretty standard scenario for a coin that jumps up this fast. Moving on to the 4-hour chart, let's take a quick look there. The moving averages are trying to catch up, but they're not there yet. Perfectly fine, that's very standard. And then also too, same with the RSI, you can see it kind of almost bounced off of 50, but still under 70. That's very good. Also note, we're getting close to a MACD convergence, which is typically a buy signal to go long. Just bear in mind, it's already on the overextended side, so how much higher will it go, right? We just got to kind of always ask ourselves that, because even though it is, it's easy to want to just buy right into a MACD convergence, it's not always, 100%. There's other factors we want to look at. So let's take a look at those. So Ichimoku Cloud, we're back above the cloud. As you can see, it worked as a nice, strong support level. That's excellent. We love to see that. Cloud works very well in that sense. And you can tell it's been continuing, right? It keeps the momentum going. It's always done it. It's done that twice now in the past, 3 days. So really good stuff here. That's awesome. We like to see that from Radix. Also note, we are looking pretty close to a reset on the TD sequential. In other words, we got a reset down here. We got a little period of consolidation followed by this increase. So hypothetically, we have roughly about 6 to 10 hours left of bullish momentum to the upside. All right. Now, before you get too excited, there is definitely a resistance level here. Of course, all-time highs have a tendency of being strong resistance levels, right at about 51, almost 52 cents. Okay, so keep in mind the price could come up and reject, could blast right through there, but we do have an approximate, 6 to 10 hours left of bullish momentum that could possibly continue. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at big picture and see what could happen if it were to continue, right? Let's go ahead and address some support and resistance levels as well as kind of a best case scenario here. We can kind of see right away that these support and resistance levels are pretty consistent, right? So we take a look, obviously we got the resistance there. We've got a secondary support here at about 43 cents, and obviously right down here about 36. Okay. So that's kind of what we're looking at there for the more immediate support levels. Let's go ahead and take a look at resistance lines and kind of just mark a couple of those as well. If the price were to continue to progress upwards, we're looking at about 63 cents as a potential resistance as the next level. I've noticed that 0.618 or 1.618, of course, has a tendency of being a pretty strong resistance. And obviously, same with 2.272. So when we just go ahead and list all these up here, go ahead and remove this here, we're looking at a best case scenario right at about $1.05 for Radix in the next couple of weeks, maybe even month end. And how I get that figure, of course, is this progress that Fibonacci basically showed us, right? It's showing us that we have a pretty significant increase in the past however many days. So let's go ahead and look at this. Roughly, just say since November 5th, so the last 4 days of trading, we've seen the most progress, right? But overall, since I would say October 30th, roughly about, let's just round up and say 2 weeks, right? In the last 2 weeks of trading, we've seen a lot of movement, right? That is an approximate 400% increase. Okay, so to be able to replicate that, right, we need to have a slight cooling off period, right? So now we have had a bit of consolidation here, which is great, but we need to have a little bit more, in my personal opinion, before we see the next leg up. So what I'm hoping for is the price to kind of come up here and reject off of the resistance level here, right at about, what is it, 52 cents, and then to come down and bounce off of 43. So it could look something like this, where it comes up, down, and then straight up, and essentially continues upwards. But the bottom line is, if we get a little bit more consolidation, it'll be able to make that leg up all the way up to about a dollar. What is it? Oh, I misspoke. It's $1.30 would be the highest point there. So $1.30 would be, I would say, the best case scenario in the next 2 weeks, right? Now again, there's cases in point where we have like Cadenas and the LRCs that just come and just destroy these Fibonacci retracement lines. Most of them work within, right? And when it starts retracing, it starts kind of bouncing up and down within each channel, but sometimes it just takes off and exceeds that highest point. That could happen here as well with Radix, because it's obviously done very well in just a short amount of time. So it's kind of still discovering itself. But the bottom line is that we need a little more consolidation before we get the next increase, right? That's what I'd like to see. So I'm hoping that we see some consolidation here and it bounces off 43. So I would mark, and then this is what I'll do too. I'll just go ahead and mark, what, 43 cents to be on the safe side. That way when the price comes down, we can get that bounce and get it on up to the upside. Okay. In fact, let me make it just a little bit better. Let's make it 44, just so in case we don't miss anything out there and it kind of almost touches off that support. But that's kind of my speculation. So yeah, I would say month end, we're looking at somewhere in the range of 130 is the best case. But the next 24 to 40 hours will really help us understand what's going to happen with this coin. Because if it just keeps kind of bouncing up and down within this channel and it just starts, has an ascending wedge pattern, then we're going to see a breakout to the upside soon, right? It's going to be one of those scenarios. So you never truly know, but we'll get there soon. Obviously we'll find out when it breaks out, right? So hopefully you did find this beneficial. Of course, thank you so much for the request to my community members. Do appreciate that. And obviously, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my Telegram community, of course, as well. I got a free group there. And then, of course, a paid service if you're interested in kind of more of a deeper dive, something that's a little bit more legitimate in the sense of having somebody like myself at your disposal and being able to make sure that we consistently take trades together and have a great learning experience. It's a very awesome situation. My favorite thing about it is I get to be able to teach people how to trade better, and that's something I've always loved doing. So the last 15 years has been a great passion of mine. So thanks again so much to my community members for allowing me to facilitate that. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. We'll look forward to seeing you next one. Take care.